What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Shit Show. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Costanzo. With me, as always, Brian Rooney
Happy Thanksgiving.
and Matt Lemary.
Hi.
It's
So,
Canadian Thanksgiving today.
oh, he's such a tool.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I thought you were like, we're not going to have any more episodes until then.
You know, it's also Columbus Day here in America.
Columbus is a dick.
yeah, he stole America.
Yeah. So we can live our lives. He stole it for us.
Uh-huh. Yep, it's Thanksgiving. That's what today is. Fuck Columbus Day. I'm not celebrating the theft of America.
Hey, if you don't like spaghetti and meatballs, why don't you just get the hell out?
You like this analogy better?
Like lamb and tuna fish. I want to start, not jumping, starting, by just saying that we got an email and
Excellent.
somebody awesome is playing Rogue Legacy because of us. The contest, you look puzzled.
Oh, there you go. All right. I honestly had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
Yeah, you.
I was like, what did we do?
You.
Wait, so did you give both people a prize?
I did.
Nice. And only one said thank you?
No, they both did, but
All right.
I don't know what the other person bought. I just know that she bought Rogue Legacy.
Read the email.
One just said, "Got it, thanks," and she said,
Wow. You're welcome.
"Yeah, it wasn't like a real heartfelt thank you." The other one said, "Thanks a lot, appreciate it. Just bought Rogue Legacy, gonna spend hours playing it." It was something like that. I don't have the emails in front of me.
By the way, I've noticed that the description of our show hasn't changed, so that's spot on email writing from last week.
What?
The description of our show on iTunes clearly needs to be a mediocre show at best. Or whatever she wrote. You should just change the wording exactly to that.
Yeah, all right. I'll do that. If I remember how to change things, I will do that. You don't actually do things through iTunes. It's all through like the stupid feeds. And
Right.
yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Clearly.
I don't know. I'm tired.
Clear.
It's been a long, long day. It's been a long few weeks. It's been miserable.
Well, once again, we've missed a week, but this time we were actually genuinely concerned about what happened to Matt. So, can you fill us in because we still haven't heard the whole story?
Or any of the story.
Yeah, it was.
Well, to set before he explains it, to set what happened when we were trying to meet last Thursday.
Yeah.
And everything was like, okay, we're gonna meet tonight. You know, we're gonna record, and then we get a text. We can't meet. Me and Brian are talking. No answer from Matt. The next day, it was like 4 p.m. that you got home. He was supposed to be home Thursday night.
No, he was supposed to be. He said I land in Atlanta 8:15 Thursday night. I think that's what it was anyway. Don't correct us just yet. You can tell the story soon. So like 9:15 comes, I'm like I just dropped something. Like, you land yet? No answer. Then like 10 o'clock, is Matt alive? No answer. Next day comes, he doesn't even tell us anything. And then I send a text like, guess Matt's dead or something like that. I don't remember what I said, but Matt's like, no, I'm home.
Yeah. A part of me did die though.
4 o'clock the next day. I made it.
Yeah. It took a little while. I just had to, figure some stuff out.
Well, you gonna explain?
Yeah, so I was supposed to come home at what was it? I think my flight from Atlanta to New York was at like 4:30 p.m. originally, and I think it's like probably like hour 45-minute flight, something like that. So I was supposed to get home at like, I don't know, 5:45. I was supposed to land at like maybe 6 o'clock at LaGuardia.
Thursday or Friday?
What?
Thursday or Friday?
What's today? Today's Monday.
Oh no, I mean, were you supposed to be home on Friday or on Thursday? I'm so confused.
Thursday. I was supposed to be home on Thursday
Oh,
night.
okay.
Thursday evening. Yes. So I got to the airport so early that I was able to catch an earlier flight than 4 p.m. So I was very pumped. I'm like, oh, sick. So I get there, and I'm flying Delta because Delta Atlanta. I don't know. It's just a big hub, and that's really all you could fly in and out of there. So I don't have stats with Delta or whatever. So just like hit me up with all these $50 change charts, and I don't like your face, so you're like 10th on the standby list, like all these stupid things. I'm like, whatever. So I get confirmed for the earlier flight, and they stick me in a middle seat. So I'm like, whatever. I'm getting home 2 hours earlier. I guess I really can't complain. I'm not gonna hold off 2 hours just for my aisle seat, right? So they board the plane. It's all like packed, and then like someone faints when we're 10th in line to take off, so we gotta go back to the gate.
What an asshole!
Such an asshole.
Don't speak with any enthusiasm or anything, Matt. Don't worry.
Because it's not fun to relive this. It's not fun.
This is my life.
Well, yeah. Sounds like you.
Brian
That
looks like he's in
sounds.
the same hotel room we left him in 2 weeks ago.
As far as I know, Brian is just in a single generic hotel room whenever we talk to him.
He's actually got a set. He's just in his house.
Oh, how I'd love that. Yeah, guys, I've been unemployed for a couple of years now.
It's all a big sham. That's it.
It's all a scheme. It's all
Did that wall just move?
No, maybe.
Oh man, now I'm disappointed if Brian does have a job. Severely disappointed. So someone faints. I don't know why. It was a little warm in there, but it wasn't like I'm gonna faint and delay 200 people's day warm. I didn't think so. So we have to go back to the gate. I don't know if you ever had to go back to the gate after you're already online for takeoff. It's extremely disappointing, and it's just like because you're not even thinking like how long is this gonna take. You're just like you just fuck your plans because it's not like we'll probably just get back to the gate in 10 minutes and then be off on our way in 10 minutes. They have to like. Is anyone a doctor? And people are like revealing themselves like reluctantly, because like clearly the woman
because that's illegal.
Well, because she just like she passed out because she was like overheated or something. She wasn't like seizing or anything like that. But like I literally heard some guy go, yeah, I'm a doctor. So,
rub some dirt in it.
She's just asleep. Take off.
Get the tussin. Rub the tussin in there. See if will wake her up. Get the tussin. Yeah. So we double back to the gate. They make this. There's probably solid 20-minute period of just exchanging words back and forth between this woman and like this like I don't know her friend that she was with, I guess. And the Delta people, because they're making her get off the plane. Like they're like, yeah, you have to get off. She's like, no, I'm okay now. Like I'm not fainted anymore. Let's just go.
I'm not fainted anymore.
Right? Yeah.
I hope that was her words.
I'm good to go now. But they're like, no, you're not good to go. You actually need to leave the plane. And then she's just like, I have to go home now. And they're like, no. So they just make her get off the plane, and then there's just like this whole thing, and then it's like, all right, now we're ready to go. But then there was like some crazy, somehow in the 50 minutes or so that all the shit's going down. There's like some crazy windstorms, and they're like, like we're going back to the gate, and they made us get off the plane. So like this is getting to be great because I went from such a high of sweet, I got on a flight 2 hours earlier, then we're headed back to the gate, and now there's windstorms, and then like my original flight was delayed that I was supposed to get on, which was 2 hours later, which is at this point like almost boarding, or what would have been boarding. so there's just like windstorms and shit, and that was actually the 4 o'clock. I think there was only a flight or two after that into LaGuardia. So I just decided to stay again, and get an early morning flight because they're like, oh yeah, this shit, this wind. They were just talking like it's the most common thing. They're like, yeah, it's just gonna be really windy all night. I'm like, does this always happen? So yeah, so I had to stay the night, and I had to get a flight in the next morning, which is funny because then I read an article. I noticed some commotion in the airport in the morning. I didn't really know what it was, and I didn't have any problems in the morning at all. But apparently Waka Flocka Flame was at the Atlanta airport Friday morning, and he got arrested for having a loaded gun in the airport.
Great.
Yeah. So
I don't
that
understand how you think that can get through security.
I don't know if he was trying to take it through security or if they just like he just had it on the premises of the airport, or they weren't really specific. But I wish my story was about like, you know, me and Flocka in the airport getting delayed, but it's just about this woman that fainted.
That sucks, but for some reason I just think this sucks even more. Probably 'cause this happens to me all the time. Like when you get delayed, like on the tarmac, like I'll be really tired, I'll fall asleep, and I'll wake up what feels like 3 hours later, and we'll be on the ground.
Oh, it's the worst. It's like I know we didn't I didn't sleep through takeoff and landing. Like that's never happened to me
Well,
yet.
I've done that before. Like I've woken up to a flight attendant saying, "Sir, you gotta get off the plane." So like I could sleep through that. So like this happens to me a lot. I'll wake up like, "Oh yeah, we're here." Wait, no, we didn't take off yet. Fuck.
Oh man.
That reminds me of my favorite verb, deplaning.
Yeah.
We have to deplane. Like someone just like it's like they're like, guys, we're writing the vocab definitions right now. You got to pick a word right now. Deplaning. Like what? It could be called anything else. It would make more sense.
Last week, I decided I was gonna fuck with the stewardess a little bit, like 'cause I was just in a playful mood, I suppose. So like, I a lot of times.
You sound creepy when you say things like that.
Were you in coach or no?
I wasn't coach. I was when I can't get the first like seat, like the ones like in between like the first row of like
The bulkhead.
Sure, it's different in all of them. Like the first row in economy and first class, you have all that leg room. I always try to book those, and when I can't book those, I blue laser pointer. I don't have a blue laser pointer. Anyway, so when I can't book those, I always book an exit row because it's extra leg room. So they do this dumb thing where like they need a verbal yes from you. Like they go like,
yep, yes, they do.
So, like,
you're sitting in an exit row.
Right,
Yes.
they're like, I just need a verbal yes from everyone. You can do this. And everyone's like, yes. Okay, thanks. So I was on the window, so I was the last one she was asking, and it was 2 seats in each thing. So she goes, say a verbal yes, no. And she walked away, and she was like, did you say no? Like, like it took her a good like 15 seconds to realize, oh, no.
No one ever says no.
She said it like no one's ever said no.
Like she just came back like, wait, did you say no? I'm like, I did, but I don't really mean it. And she goes, safety is not a laughing matter. I'm like,
laughing matter.
It's not.
Like, all right.
Side note, I really don't. I mean, Delta's okay. I still
Delta.
They're still not my favorite, but have you ever seen the Delta safety video? It's easily my favorite safety video.
I don't ever pay attention, so I've been on plenty of Delta flights, but I can't even tell you what the fucking United one is, and I'm on God knows how many United flights. I don't ever listen. I just watch movies or shut my eyes. I don't care.
It's just funny, like the safety video is funny. There's just jokes layered into it.
But a piece of shit though. Like they board so slow, they don't leave on time. I fucking hate Delta.
Yeah, you're just describing airlines, really. Like they all like to be honest, like they
Frankly,
all
Brian, you're just shouting.
yeah, no, they all suck. You know.
I like my priority boarding, which Matt, I think we might actually touch on this, but you agree with me. This is bullshit that uniformed military gets to board before other people. Like, think about it. I'm a supporter of the military. Like, they're brave guys, good for them. Why the fuck are they in uniform at an airport getting on a commercial flight just to board before? Like, you
This
don't need to do that. Why
this
you?
reminds me. This reminds me of so many things. One, I agree. It's not you don't need to just blend into your surroundings on the airplane. It's not like this guy's landing and going right into combat at the gate on the other side. I don't know why they travel in there
I don't know.
full gear. I don't know if it's like a tradition thing or whatever, but it's not like they have like how like the Marines have like their like formal wear that's pretty much like a nice suit.
Mhm.
Like I wonder why they don't have like formal dress for travel. But anyway, it reminds me of a Louis C.K. joke about his like these young kids and they go to the army and he's like I don't know, he's like not since I've been a comedian have I traveled so much, especially for work, and I've traveled a lot of domestic flights. And when you picture someone going to Iraq or going to Afghanistan in the army, you picture a bunch of soldiers being packed into a big green plane and they go to war. He's like, no, they're flying coach, like on the same flight that you're on. And he's like, and I'm in my nice big first class seat and I see this poor 19-year-old kid willing to give his life, and he's getting back in his middle seat in coach. They couldn't even get him an aisle seat or a window seat. And just for a second I thought, you know what? I should go trade tickets with this kid. Give him a nice first class seat. It'd be a good gesture. Now don't get me wrong, I didn't do it, but I thought about doing it, and in some weird fucked up way, just because I thought about it made me feel like I was a better person.
It's great.
It really does annoy me though that they get on just because they're in uniform. There's no reason.
I feel like the biggest loophole now is I've traveled American, United, and Delta lately. I'm flying American again tomorrow. The biggest loophole now, the first section of boarding is the general category of anyone requiring
Yes, extra time.
special assistant. Like the way they phrase it isn't even like so, because sometimes it's like people traveling with small children, which is just nonsense that they get priority because they're like the most annoying people on the whole flight, and we're giving them extra time. I don't know if it's just insensitive because we don't, none of us have children that we know of. So
We
know of.
It's true statement.
I feel like I can't see your face, but I feel like you paused and looked at Brian.
I did.
Why?
What's funny is I can't see either of you obviously because my Skype and my iPad apparently you can't do the three-way video, but so it's a head, Brian's default picture is just kind of a close up on his face, and
Where Brian clearly knows how to look at a camera.
right, he's not looking directly at the camera, but it's just a close up on his face. But Anthony's default for me today at least is his Xbox Live avatar. And his Xbox Live avatar has like his arm raised slightly, like it's at his side, but like he's like looks like he's like halfway into a jumping jack, but it's just from his waist up and just one side, and he's right next to Brian, so it just looks like you're petting Brian's beard.
Can you take a picture of that, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a screenshot to send to you guys, but it just looks like the avatar is petting Brian's beard. It's really funny, actually.
It's quite luxurious.
Yeah, it's great.
Matt, do you ever
But
think
yeah,
when
this vague category of just people with special needs or people requiring more time, like they don't qualify that at all.
Right, like, do you ever think about like limping up there, like I'm hurt, I need extra time, like just to go on?
I have thought about it. I would never I would never do it, but I just don't know what does that category mean? People requiring extra time to board is sometimes how they phrase it too. It can mean anything. It's like, thought you never asked. This bag is so heavy, it's really hard to get into the overhead. I'm gonna take a little more time than needed.
So we're gonna tweet out this picture because it's kind of ridiculous. And
Why is
is
his
my
hand
hand
extending
reaching
in?
out? Is it reaching out of my frame onto Brian's face?
Yes.
Yes, it is. I don't know why that.
How is that even possible?
I don't know, but this is what I'm looking at, and it's pretty great.
Is there? Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tweet that out because I gotta reset my Twitter password. I'm too lazy to do
Yeah,
that.
hang on, I'm on it.
Good. Yeah, I mean, the extra time doesn't bother me too much. The military shit bothers me, and you know what bothers me the most? Now, I'm Group 1, so I really hate like small planes.
Look at me.
I hate small planes when they're like, boarding like global service, military, and when needs extra time. Boarding Group 1 and 2, why?
Yeah. I don't, or I mean, all airlines do it different. What I don't like about Delta boards, they do special needs first, then they do special needs, and then it's just any medallion member, like whether you're silver, gold, platinum, diamond, whatever you are. On Delta, they invite you up all at once, so that's like kind of bullshit, dude. The difference is flying 25,000 miles a year and 125,000 miles a year between silver and diamond, and they just like go together. And then after that is like first and business class. Like they're do like the loyalty members over the first and business class seats is interesting to me.
Yeah, United Group 1 is platinum and up and first class, so it's like first class. You like even if you first time you fly, you buy a first class ticket, you board with Group 1 United, which I like.
I mean, yeah, obviously, because you're paying two to 10 times as much for a first class ticket, depending on what the flight is. That's another. I forget what stand-up comic. And I think, I was listening to that stand-up comic on Netflix you were telling me about. Is it that Aussie guy? He's got
Jim Jeffries.
Yeah, Jim Jeffries.
He's fantastic.
And he's telling a couple of jokes about. He's like, I fly a lot. He's like, all I do is I buy enough coach class tickets that I get these upgrades. He's like, but they fucking know I didn't buy a first or business class seat. He's like, even though you're sitting with them, like they know which were the ones that actually paid the full price for the ticket and which are the lower class upgrade type people.
By the way, I'm gonna say this now. Apparently, just my app for Twitter doesn't work because my password works online. All right. But when I put it into the app, it says no. All right. So I've been in Wisconsin, like the past 7 weeks maybe. Like it's been miserable. Flights have been absolutely terrible. It's not an easy place really to get to. Like from where we are, like everything has to go through O'Hare. O'Hare is another fucking story. Today I fucked up something, which I'll get to in a second, but I was driving around last week, and it's the middle of nowhere, like a lot of these things, and I drove past a church, and there was a sign, like those funny things that you scramble letters around, like those signs, like that type of sign, and it said in quotes, fall, so fall was in quotes, fall for Jesus. He never, and then leaves in quotation. Do they think that's clever because it's fall? But really, you're saying fall for Jesus? That sounds really fucking strange. Let's fall in love with Jesus. I'm pretty sure that goes against the Bible. If I'm a man and I fall in love with Jesus, so I don't know what they're getting at there. I really don't. But that really just pissed me off. Any thoughts?
I just like Brian rants. And also the whole time, all I could think about was Biff saying, "Make like a tree and get the hell out of here."
So, listen to what I did today. This was really, really stupid. So I had an early flight.
So demanding. Listen to what I do.
Listen to my stupidity. I had an early flight today because I had to work today. I don't even know if I worked in Wisconsin. I don't even know if I'm in Wisconsin or Minnesota right now. I'm on like the border somewhere. I flew into Minneapolis, but anyway, that's irrelevant. So I had an early flight, of course, through O'Hare. I landed in O'Hare, and my flight that I'm on is delayed for God knows why. So I'm like, all right, well, I look at the board, and I see, oh, there's another flight to Minneapolis at this time. I'll just switch to it. And the time on the board said 10:40. So I open up the app, I hit change flight, and it says 10:20. I'm like, oh, maybe they pushed it up. Who knows? I switched to it, and the flight I switched to isn't the same flight on the board. And I'm like, that's not the same flight number. And it says it's at this gate. I go to this gate, and I'm like, this flight's not here. So on the app, you say, where is this flight coming from? So I put I looked, and it said it was coming from Oklahoma City, and it says it was scheduled to leave, and it would say actual if it left. I'm like, the fuck? And I realized the flight was for 10:20 tonight. so, so I'm like, oh shit, let me try to get back on my other flight, and it was booked.
Brian.
So I switched up my flight, and then it was booked, and there was another flight that was booked, so I had a standby for it. But another thing, with status, when you standby, you get pushed to the top of the list. So I mean, pretty much you get on anything you standby for. But the funny thing is, I was on standby for the flight I was confirmed on like 20 minutes ago.
Have you ever made the mistake of just because when you fly a couple different airlines, you forget how certain airlines do certain things, and some of them, like the e-ticket in Passbook, right? Sometimes it won't say the flight's time; it'll say the boarding's time, the time the flight's boarding, or sometimes the other way around. So there's been a lot of times where I'm just like, oh, nice, I got like half hour. I'll like sit, have a glass of wine, then I'm like, oh shit, that's not boarding, that's taking off, and I'll have to like chug my glass of wine and then like run to the flight, and I'm like, oh god damn it. Like, and you go from like, oh, this is nice, I'm gonna have like a nice drink, relax, mosey on over, be the first, one of the first people to board, hopefully, or as close as possible, sit in my seat and be relaxed. And all of a sudden it's just like, oh shit, and you're just running, and you're like, I hope I get on this flight, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have those feelings all the time because I'm always, in the beginning I was always like, they say be 2 hours like early. I was always 2 hours early. Now I'm lucky if I'm like 2 minutes early. So yeah.
Paging you, Brian Rooney.
No, I'm not. That happens most of the time. It's like, Brian Rooney from the boarding area, please board now. Like, this is your final call. So yep, coming. Usually that's what happens now.
They know my name.
Well, because I don't really have to worry. I only do that when I know the plane. Like, if it's a small plane where my carry-on, like, I have to gate check anyway, like the green tag shit, so I don't have to worry about overhead space. I don't care when I get on the plane. Or if I'm going to be gone a while and I'm deciding to check a bag, I'm not going to have anything to be overhead. I don't give a shit when I board. I only care about my boarding priority when I have something to put in the overhead, because those shits fill up.
Yeah.
God. If you actually look at it, if everyone puts one bag up there, it shouldn't fill up, but somehow it does.
Nah, I actually did some thinking about that, because hey, it's a full flight. They're trying to like, hey, we won't charge you if you come check your bag. It's like, dude, you like just like in Meet the Fockers, or Meet the Parents, rather, the first one, you are gonna have to pry this luggage from my dead monkey grip right now if you think that you're checking this bag. But if you look, and it's like, well, there's an overhead. So the overhead that you could fit 3 pieces of luggage in it, right? Like 3 rolly luggages in an overhead.
Maybe.
But the overhead is centered
over 2 rows.
Over 2 rows, right,
Yep.
Brian? So and then some of them have like the fucking snacks for the flight on it. Some of it has like safety equipment. There's just not like, if every single seat had a rolly luggage, like it probably only has it for maybe like 70% of the flight, I would say. But have you ever had to do the walk of shame of oh no, there's no more, I have to go check this at the gate?
I never had to do the walk of shame, but last week, my flight was canceled, and I was like, this is retarded. Like I was pissed off. I went to the gate agent, and I was going to Madison, Wisconsin. So they're like, all right, well, I can put you on a flight to Boston, and then Boston will go to Madison. I'm like, that's backwards. Like I don't think that works. That works too well. I said because I took out left out of Philly, so that was really backwards. And my actual response was that I'm going backwards first. Like, what else you got? And then she goes, well, I can send you through Houston. I'm like, that's too far. I'm like, you know what? The flight was canceled. I didn't miss it. I don't care what airline. Just put me on a direct flight. So,
Right.
oh, no, I was going to Indianapolis for this. Never mind. It doesn't really matter. So they put me on a U.S. Air flight that was direct to Indianapolis, and I was confirmed on one that was only 2 hours, but there was one leaving like now. So I go over there, and the gate agent was a bitch. She's like, my flight's full. I'm like, well, can I stand by? She's like,
Dumb bitch.
like, I'm sorry, I'm making you do your job and putting me on a standby list. So, I had pre-check. So a pre-check, like you leave like your jacket on, like and shit. You don't have to take any out of your bag. So I put like my phone and everything in my bag, and it was still in my bag, my work phone anyway. And I got up there. There's a full flight except for me. Now I'm getting on. They're like, well, there's no room. Got to gate check your bag. I'm like, yep, sure, take it. I don't care as long as I'm on it. Didn't take my work phone out. Anthony, I'll let you see because Matt doesn't have a.
Ah.
Oh yeah, the screen is like shattered. I don't know what the hell they do with those bags. The phone was still in the bag, and I guess they decided to play a game of basketball with my bag, and it's just shattered.
That is destroyed.
Oh,
And it's gone.
and it's gone. Oh man, yeah. So I haven't had to do the walk of shame, but I've had a gate check a few times, and that's what happens when you don't take shit out.
You guys fly a lot, and you're on small planes a lot, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, for all those small planes where there's 2 seats on one side and one on the other,
I love those planes.
is it always A, C, D?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who fucked up?
The best is it's one of the older planes. It's 2 seats. It's A, B, and EF.
Awesome.
Like where's the rest of the letters?
I'm like picturing them putting all of the seats in A, B, C, D, like from the front to the back of the plane, getting to the back and being like, shit.
Yeah. I love those planes because
I love.
I always book
Yeah.
the one seat and I'm just by myself doing whatever. Love it.
Yeah. It's basically like a business class seat, like in economy.
Yeah.
This guy, when we went to DC, he was sitting across from us in that one seat. And he's this heavy set business dude. He's got a gigantic bag of popcorn, a big ass soda, and he's got his iPad, and he's carrying all of this stuff and his wired gigantic headphones, and he just like stumbles into his seat. He's got one leg. He might as well have had a finger in his belly button. Like that's how disheveled this guy was. He's sitting there watching his movie, and I was like, you know what? This guy's doing it right.
Did he need an extender?
Well, no, I don't know.
Oh, I had my first run-in with someone requesting a seatbelt extender.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think so.
No,
Like they ask it so casually, I'm like, oh wow, you've been fat for a while, huh?
But, like I could hear him breathing on a plane, so this guy was pretty big.
yeah. Well, before the extenders, on those planes, I love those planes because even if I don't get the one seat, you either have an aisle or a window. There's no middle, so it doesn't matter where the fuck you are. It's just great.
Yeah, there's not too many shitty options.
Yeah, but the extenders. Now, I told you guys I've been listening to a lot of comedy lately, and the only difference here is my story is actually true. His isn't. Daniel Tosh had like a thing where they delayed his flight because there was too many fat people and they needed extenders, and I had to wait for a different plane of fat people to come in like to get extenders. Probably didn't actually happen, and I had just listened to this like 2 weeks ago. Then my flight home, there was 4 people who needed seatbelt extenders, and they only had 2. And we were delayed about 35 minutes. They were trying to find extenders from other planes.
Oh man.
Wow.
So we were just sitting at the gate because these fat people couldn't buckle up. What is that gonna do? The plane crashes. Is that seatbelt around your lap really gonna like dislodge your fat ass from those 2 like armrests? No, it's not. So it was just stupid, and it was funny because I literally like heard that like sketch like the day before, and I was like, that doesn't happen. Yep.
Well, did you hear about the 2 airplanes like I think it was like 2 weeks ago at this point at JFK that they actually like crashed on the tarmac.
No.
Oh my god. What?
Yeah, and then it's just like the moral of the story is keep your goddamn seatbelt on until the until the captain takes the seatbelt light off.
I'm not even lying. There's been a few times, like I always have my iPad or like something on my lap, like so my hands like where like the buckle is. There's been plenty of times where like I just didn't have it on, like I was sitting on it because I forgot. So I have taken
Yeah, but I've heard enough stories where it's like unexpected turbulence on on some United flight going over O'Hare. Like even if it's for literally one bump, like it like tosses people and they like crunch their head in on the ceiling or like something like that. Like that's what the seatbelt's for too. It's not just to make sure you stay in your assigned seat so they can identify your body. kind of grim. There is some purpose to the seatbelt.
And the seatbelt extenders. Fucking.
Yeah.
If I ever got to the point where I need a seatbelt extender, I would not fly and I would put a bullet in my head. That's what it would come down to.
Wow.
Do you think about how wide those seatbelts go? Like, and you need an extender.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's some heavy people.
I don't know if they go that wide. I feel like it's a thing of comfort too. If you're just like I've seen people that ask for it and they're not even that big. Like I feel like it's just like, I don't know, a way to get more comfortable. But I also think it it goes like less, like it cuts less into your waist, I guess, if you have the extender, and it sits more comfortable on you because it's like the extender is like a big cushion versus just like the metal buckle on your waist.
Yeah.
Brian's been on a few flights since the last time we've met, so let's go with our only reoccurring segment on the shit show, shit that Brian watched.
I've been on an old action movie kick.
Fabulous.
Last time we talked, I said I watched the 3 Blade movies.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched. I watched for the first time the first Terminator. I never saw the first Terminator.
Nice.
And
really?
Watched Terminator 2, and I didn't watch. I was gonna rewatch 3 as well, but the ending of 2 made me wonder how was there even a 3? Do you guys remember the end?
Correct. I've never seen the third one. I've only seen the first and second one.
Do you have the ending like vivid in your head, both of you?
For 2? Yeah, 2 used to be one of my favorite movies.
Arnold thumbs up going into the fire.
Right, that's what I remembered. But there's a scene after that.
What is that after that?
So you remember how
the little droplet that pops off of his thumb as it goes into the fire?
Yeah, that's nasty.
Gorgeous.
Remember at the end of the first one, Sarah Connor's in the Jeep in Mexico, like making like the audio tapes as she's pregnant.
Right.
Same thing. The end of the second one, you hear her like narrating again. It's tapes, and then it shows her, and she's like old grandma at a park, and then a little girl like runs up to her, and she's like, "John's fighting a different battle on the Senate floor," and he's like old and a senator. Like, what?
Wait, what? I don't remember that at all.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That's a lie.
No, it's not, because I just watched it, and I was talking to my dad, and I'm like, I don't understand how there's a third Terminator. I know we saw it in the theaters together, but like I don't remember the end of 2. And I started explaining to him. He goes, "That's not in 2." I'm like, "Dad, I just watched this yesterday." He goes, "No, that's not in the movie." I'm like, "I just watched it."
Are you sure you didn't fall asleep and see the end of something else?
Positive, because I wasn't even on the plane for this. I was just sitting in like the terminal waiting for my delayed plane, which is what always fucking happens. Yeah. We're gonna look it up at the end of this podcast, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Like that's.
There's 3 different endings to the movie. Okay, I'm looking right now.
Right. Well, I'm gonna proceed. I just watched Demolition Man.
Nice.
I've seen bits and pieces of that movie.
I love that movie. The 3 seashells.
Yes. What the fuck with the 3 seashells?
He doesn't know how to use 3 seashells.
Do you know how to use 3 seashells?
I still don't understand the concept. No.
No. And then they show the seashells, and they're like metal seashells that everyone's clearing their ass with, apparently. Like, how is that sanitary?
And they all scoff at each other. They're like, he doesn't know how to use a 3 seashells.
But I've never seen that movie in its entirety, so like I never knew like the real like premise. I've seen like action scenes like here and there. And the best part was when he defrosts like the rest of his team. One of them is Jesse the Body Ventura. Like that's
Nice.
necessary. Um, but yeah, like, Wesley Snipes is an awesome maniac. Just laughing the whole time. He was great. I don't remember what else I watched, but there was other shit, definitely. But I can't remember anymore.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I had a fun little weekend at a place called Comic-Con at the Javits Center this past weekend.
Oh, nice.
Wait, before you go into that, I remember the other movies I watched.
Go ahead.
Let's do all the things that you want.
Yeah.
No, because Matt's not going to forget his Comic-Con story, but I'm going to forget what movie I watched.
This is true. You might forget it by the end of this sentence.
I watched Last Man Standing, which was Bruce Willis from like 1993, maybe? Something like that. It's like a Western type movie.
Really?
It was boring and interesting at the same point, if that makes sense. Like, it took me like 3 plane rides to watch it because I would shut it off and watch something else, but I ended up liking the movie. I don't know, it was Bruce Willis, and Christopher Walken was in it as well. It was good. And then my Bruce Willis kick continued, and I started watching The Last Boy Scout with Damon Wayans.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's good, but I stopped watching it because watching Bruce Willis, I'm like, I just need to watch Die Hard. So I watched Die Hard. And then
remember in Die Hard when Die Hard's in the van?
And then
Wait. What is that? What is that from?
Friends, yeah.
He just keeps calling him Die Hard.
And,
you know what's even better than Die Hard 1?
Die Hard 2!
Joey, this is Die Hard 1 again.
You watch
but
it
if
again.
you watch it again.
So yeah, then I shut The Last Boy Scout, so I watched Die Hard, and then I went back to The Last Boy Scout, and I was staring at Bruce Willis again. I'm like, I gotta watch Die Hard 2. So I started watching Die Hard 2.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, Matt, continue with Comic-Con.
Yeah, I went there certainly. It was okay. It's always, I always get pumped to go, and then once you go there, you're just like, ugh. If you don't want to spend lots of money, it's just one of those places that's not that fun. Like the mall. It's like a crazy mall, is what
Right.
it is.
Is that it?
That's the story.
The end. I went.
Good.
I went to. Well, it's like it's like a crazy mall / amusement park, because what you do is, like, doors open at 10, so you gotta get there like at least an hour ahead of time. We were there like 90 minutes ahead of time, and all you do is you wait on a line outside. They let you in to the line inside, and you're just waiting in the basement of the Javits Center before the thing opens. Then they finally let you in, and people already like sprint to the first thing they want to do, and all they're doing is sprinting to wait in another line for the first thing that they want to do. Like, it's insane that you can go like so many hours before even like seeing anything. My favorite we went to a panel for the League. Are you guys big League watchers?
I don't watch it, but I know what it is.
It's hysterical.
It's
It's such a-
hysterical. It's so funny, and they screened an episode for us, which is cool. That's gonna it's gonna be coming out in 2 weeks, like a whole episode. So it's cool. You're in a room with a couple hundred, if not even 1,000 other people. I'm trying to remember how big that particular room was that we were in. That you all like this thing that you've come there for, and you're all watching like new content together at the same time. Is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
everyone laughing at the at the jokes, and then they bring the panel out, and like the cast of the show is just absolutely absurd. I think Nick Kroll
is awesome.
Hilarious. Yeah, that panel was just absolutely hysterical, and they were just like, they just kept ripping on people that were posting, that were asking questions. Like, people line up to ask the panel questions, and then like Nick Kroll would just start like making fun of the whatever they were wearing and stuff, like before they could even ask a question. Like some kid was dressed up like Goku, uh, and he's just like, "What the hell?" He's like, "What the hell are you?" Like it's just funny that they're at Comic-Con, but they like refuse to acknowledge that like this is what people do there. Like they just were ripping on people, and they're like, "Do you even have a question?" Yeah, it was really funny. I think the show's hysterical, and it's worth getting into for sure. It's on Netflix, even if you don't. Fantasy football is like not what the show's about. The show's about like a group of friends that just hate each other. It's awesome.
I got hooked in that show like like the first or second episode, like when they're leading into the draft and Nick Kroll and the other guy are attorneys and they're against each other and they're trading like draft picks for like this guy's fate that they're like in like a legal debate about in front of the guy too, like in like an interrogation room.
Yep. No, it's oh man,
so
it's
good.
so awesome, and they trick each other into getting picks and trading draft picks. I think the funniest thing is that the trophy for their fantasy football league is called the Shiva, because they went to high school with this girl Shiva. She was like the valedictorian. She's like this really really nerdy Indian girl, and they just keep like a nerdy picture of her, like pretty much her high school like yearbook picture is just on the trophy, and it's just called the Shiva. And like when someone wins it, like they basically film these fake sex tapes of like them and the trophy. It's like having their way with the Shiva and doing whatever they want. But then like later on, she ends up being a character, like the grown up version of this girl. Like she's like good looking and she's a doctor. But she was at she wasn't one of the people on stage for the panel, but apparently she was there, and the Shiva came up in conversation. They're like, she's actually here, and she was like sitting in the front row, and they're like, get up here, and they brought her to the panel, and then like everyone in the crowd is just like bowing to her and chanting Shiva. It was hysterical.
That's great.
So funny. It's like some of those panels are just hilarious to get into because people are just shouting. And then Brian, do you remember? I think this character was around for maybe like 2 or 3, maybe 2 episodes. Mr. McGiblets. Do you remember? Like the big, like purple, like Barney type character that Kevin's daughter's into.
So dresses like him.
Yeah, so the guy in front of me waiting for the panel was dressed like Mr. McGiblets, like head to toe. I'm like, where'd you even get that? And he's just like, oh, I just bought it for a lot of money online to wear today to this. I'm like, you're insane. But like he got a shout out from the cast, like, is that fucking McGiblets? I don't think we made money off that. I don't know who's selling that. I've never seen that before. It's just like this. Is this an obscure character that's in maybe 2 episodes of a 6-season show?
I just feel like Nick Kroll would be awesome to hang out with.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy.
How do you not like Nick Kroll?
I just find him to be irritating.
Oh, he's so funny because like he's so Jewish, but in the show his wife is like hardcore like Catholic. I think she's I forget if she's Mexican or some sort of Spanish, but she's like really hardcore Catholic. And he just like fights with her constantly, and she's like, why don't you ever want my family to come over? He's like, listen, I don't want the goddamn conquistadors coming in my house with the goddamn Jesus crosses. He's just like, it's just so funny.
In one episode, he has AAA, so he would just get really drunk at the bar and then call AAA to tow him home.
Yeah,
because he had like X amount of miles for towing.
Yeah, him and they're like, why don't you just call a cab? And he's like, because AAA, doesn't pay for my rides when I'm in a cab. And him and his friends sit in the car as it's being towed, but AAA guy. he doesn't even like to. He doesn't even pretend like something's wrong. They're just like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "Oh, the problem's with me. I can't drink. I can't drive. I've had too much to drink." And, yeah,
It's like a brilliant idea.
yeah. It's hilarious. And then another stress absurdness of the show. There's an episode where Kevin has a second child, and him and his wife are in disagreement whether the kid should get circumcised or not. But their two teams happen to be playing that week in fantasy football, so that they were basically playing for whether the son gets to keep the foreskin or not, which is hilarious. Like these are the stakes that they play for.
You need to watch the show, Ant.
Yeah.
One show at a time. I'm catching up on Parks and Rec now.
Oh,
Another good one.
Jeez.
Aziz.
One time, Aziz's character is Tom Haverford.
Wait.
Haverford.
Wait. You can't speak of Aziz.
Why?
I believe I quoted Aziz and you didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And
Yeah, that
Ant
blew my mind.
I don't know everything he's ever said. He said so many things.
It's from stand-ups that you've quoted before, and you were like, what the fuck is that? No, so stop talking about Aziz. You lose.
So Tom Haverford goes into Ron Swanson's office one day. Like, this is not. I'm not ruining anything for you, Ant.
That's fine.
He just goes into Ron Swanson's office and he just goes, Ron Swanson.
Tom.
And yeah, Tom. But like he just went like that's how he just enters rooms, like doing absurd shit.
Great. He's
How
awesome.
far in, Ant?
Second season. Like 2
Ugh.
or 3 episodes into the second season.
What's going on right now in the storyline?
Andy is living in the pit in a tent. Also, the end of the first season, the pit song was phenomenal, and I sing it on a daily basis.
Oh,
Filling in the pit.
there gets to be much better songs. One of which I don't know if it really ruins anything, but I won't say the title just in case. But it's one that I definitely always have stuck in my head. I don't know if Brian knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
There's a whole concert.
Yeah.
And Andy makes up a song towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wait, is the show done?
No, one more season. It starts now or soon. I don't know. Season
Soon.
7.
Yeah.
And
So-
that's
So
it.
I can only catch up on one show at a time because there's too many friggin' shows on right now that I
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, I guess last time we were talking, I said Dane and I started Lost, and everyone keeps telling us don't do it or stop after like season 2, but we're just so intrigued. Can't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, you know what the best part of this is? When Lost first aired, I watched like the first season with my mother, and I cannot recall one thing that happened. Like, and it was all like new information to me. Like, wow, I can't believe this happened. Like, and I've seen it before, but no memory of it.
Oh, I'll one up you there. So yesterday was a big day because as you know, I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, and they beat the Seahawks in Seattle. So, needless to say, I was just hammered drunk yesterday. Like I was wasted on a combination of just beer and so much pizza. Like I was really just knocked off my toes. So apparently last night I come home from the bar and Liz is watching and she's like, "Oh, do you want to start season 2 Arrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So apparently we watched like 2 full episodes, and then tonight we're home from work and I'm like, "Let's start season 2 of Arrow." She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like we watched she's like, "We watched the first 2 episodes last night." I'm like, "What? No." And then like literally we're watching it and I'm like, "No way." Like I'm like, he loved her. Like there's like all these storylines that are coming out, and she's like, "You literally saw this last night." And I'm like, I have no recollection of watching these two full, what are they, 45-minute episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So solid.
That show, I love it. It's like I love watching that show, but it really is. It's terrible in so many ways.
It's so cheesy.
Because it's like Gossip Girl DC.
Yeah.
It's just too much. But I mean, like I said though, I still love it. But there's one thing that when you're watching it on Netflix, because you're binge watching and you're watching like 3 or 4 episodes at a time, you realize just how much they reiterate the same points, because usually there's a week break between episodes.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, it's like, how many times are you gonna call that guy by his whole name, or
Right.
or say that thing that you just said over and over and over again?
Mm.
The same internal struggle. It's like, all right, now you just sound like you're whining.
Yeah. No, that it's a solid enough show. Or like now, I'm in the episodes where um, they keep stressing the particle accelerator accident in Starland City or whatever, and that's like where the Flash lives, and that's
Yeah.
like starting to play like on that show. But it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're not teasing it now. You're just like, you're making it too easy. Like the nerdy people that are into that type of stuff, like they
No,
don't
it's
want it. They don't want it blatantly in your face to catch.
No, it's important. They're not talking about the. They're probably not talking about the accident yet at the point that you're in, because Barry Allen is actually in the second season of Arrow.
Oh, is he? I
Yeah.
thought. Oh wait. Oh no, I saw it the other way. I watched.
You watched the Flash.
I watched the Flash, and he sees all. He runs. He runs.
Yeah.
What's the city in Arrow called?
Starling.
No. Oh wait, is it?
It is. No, it is. It's Starling City.
No.
No.
So wait, then what's the Flash one?
Central City.
Central. There you go. There you go. But yeah, the show's alright. Have you been watching Gotham?
Yeah, I have. I think I've only seen 2 episodes. I've got 2.
I'll be
Gotham's
back while you talk about Gotham.
Gotham's good. They have that that guy that's playing Cobblepot, aka Penguin, is like the perfect creepy actor that they found. What is he? He's from
Accepted.
Yes. I think he's from a couple of different things. I was gonna try to IMDb him, but I like trying to challenge myself first.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
I don't. That's a show that I need to start up. I've seen like
this season premiere. It was so good.
I've seen the first. I think I've seen maybe the first part of the first season, something like that. Actually, it's funny. This is the first time I was ever in Atlanta, and like that, the classic Walking Dead shot of him, walking or not walking, riding the horse on the highway.
Yeah.
Like, of like blank, like that highway is literally the most absurd road in America. It's a 16 lane highway that runs through the middle of the city. Like, it's not just like, oh, that's I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, this is wow, this is a huge highway that connects like the airport to the city, and they're like, no, this runs through the city, and it kind of connects to these other 12 lane highways. Like, the whole city is just highways. It's like craziness. 16 lanes is nuts. So that's why they were saying, like, last year when they finally got snow for like the first time, I don't know, ever, that like it just shut the whole city down, and like the whole city is highways. So if they just fucked up not even being able to plow those, like, no one was able to get anywhere.
How'd you get back to Atlanta?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch that either.
Have you ever been to Atlanta?
Atlanta airport. I never actually went out of the airport.
Okay. I have a couple of cities like that. Does it count?
I mean, technically, I've been to Atlanta, I guess, or I've been to Georgia. I don't think the airport's actually in Atlanta. Like,
we were talking about Gotham. There's like a young actor that plays Cobblepot, who's eventually turns into the Penguin, Batman villain, but he is the creepy guy from the movie Accepted. If I know you know that movie.
Yeah.
The kid with ADD.
Do you remember right after we watched Accepted? That's when Joe told us he got accepted to Empire State College.
Yeah, I was
The
convinced he was making that up.
It's like, you mean there's another
real.
college on Staten Island that we don't know about?
Oh man. So also speaking of Accepted, I saw there's a Barstool Sports article out about how Jonah Hill is just fat again, like really fat again, and everyone's excited about it. They're like, thank God, enough of that bullshit. Jonah's fat again.
And speaking of Joe, since that's what we were just on before, he posted the Big Al's commercial. Anthony, I know you're looking for it. It's on Facebook now. Or
You sent it to me.
yeah, but it didn't work. You said.
It eventually worked.
Oh, well, you
It
didn't.
just took a really long time.
Well, you didn't tell me that. You just said it didn't work.
You didn't wait. No, you sent me a second link that worked.
Well, I don't remember that.
Oh my god, that commercial is so embarrassing.
It really is.
It's just horrible.
Yeah. I know you
Is
guys.
it-
Oh god.
Is it better or worse than that
Geno's?
Geno's commercial?
I think it's worse. I
Come on over for dinner.
Well-
We're inviting every. He says it as one sentence. He's
Yep.
like half retarded, half thick Italian accent. I don't know what it is, but he just kind of strings together one sentence or one a whole sentence or two sentences as one word, and he's like, "Hey, this is Gino Staten Island. Invite everyone Staten Island. Come on over for dinner." Like that's one word.
The guy talking though in the Big Al's commercial, he's so clearly reading off of something but can't read.
Yeah,
Who's the
I think it said that annoying guy that was at CTV. I think the Big Al's commercial is worse for a few reasons. One is the guy narrating it, because one, I hate that guy, and I know you do too, Anthony.
Mm.
And he was terrible.
Mhm.
Two, there's a misspelling in the address.
Fantastic.
Three, I understand trying to get candid images like of us doing shit, but they were terrible. Like when they're like fast and free delivery, they show little Mikey walking out with like such a bitch face on, like walking out of the pizzeria.
Hey, that's just how he looks.
And four, I wasn't even in it.
Well, yeah, Brian, they wanted to sell things.
Yeah.
They know you have that history, with past employers. They didn't really want to associate you.
Should've just been my stunt double.
Brian, you had been going through the Toys R Us scandal at the time, and they didn't want to associate you. You're just not good for business.
Yeah,
It's just
whatever.
so bad.
Can you please tell your current employer, if you do have one and not just a movie set in your house, about the Toys R Us scandal?
I mean, it wasn't really a scandal.
They're calling it a scandal.
Oh, the tabloids got a hold of this one.
Yep,
Oh.
they sure did. They sure did.
I'm gonna move on. So I know you guys have done this, and don't make me feel bad about it. Did you ever just look at someone for no reason? You just hate everything they're doing.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
I think racism mixed in with a little, I don't know.
It had nothing to do with
pure
race.
hatred.
Wait, hang on. I have this exact. All right. So I hate Carlo's Bakery and the fact that there's this ridiculous
Me
slide there
too.
every day because
I hate everything. I hate everything about that.
So there was a couple things that happened that like just basically just filled me with rage. So I was walking up the street and there's constantly people taking pictures in front of this thing, but there was one chick was taking a picture of another chick in front of it with a friggin' iPad, and
I
that's
hate
like
that.
that's my second pet peeve. So
Oh my god! I
just wanted to punch the iPad through her
did
face.
you know? So about 2 years ago when I was in shape and very much going into the gym, there was this one Chinese guy that would just come and like instead of having an iPhone or an iPod like with his music, he would have like not a mini iPad, a full size iPad. He would carry around with him in the gym, and he's like taking pictures of himself in the mirror with the iPad. I'm like, even if this was a phone, he would look crazy. But the fact that he's doing it with a full size iPad at the gym, he looked insane. Like that, I was like, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude that I recently hated. It was last week or 2 weeks ago, and I checked the bag, and I didn't have my carry-on, and this guy had like, his roller bag and like the laptop bag like on sitting on top of it in the most annoying way. He was just, for some reason, this guy caught my eye. He was on the phone. And he was like really looking like fucking annoying, and I was really hoping he wasn't on my flight. And he was on my flight. He wasn't next to me, but he was near me. And just for some reason, every way this guy was moving, I was like, wow, like, you're an asshole. Like, I fucking hate you. And I don't even know why. And like he thought he was in a suit, like he was this like important businessman. And and he happened to check a bag too, and then was standing by baggage claim. And I take a look at his phone, and I'm like, what kind of important businessman sells an iPhone 4? Like, yeah, you're real important. Like, and everything just bothered me that this guy was doing. That I was just like taking notice of the dumbest things, like his phone was an iPhone 4, and I'm like, yeah, you're not important because of that. And then I look at my hand, and I have an iPhone 4 in my hand. And I'm like, well, I'm not important, so it doesn't matter. But
I've seen Brian get into that mode where he absolutely hates everything about somebody. So there was this one day we all went to Six Flags together, and I'll never forget it.
No, I don't want to live this.
So we're all talking and joking around and whatnot. Just like we haven't heard from Brian in a little while, and I look at him like, Brian, no response, and he's just glaring at this dude, like he's just staring him down. And I'm like, what is his problem? And he won't answer me. And then he goes, and then finally he's like, you see this shit? And I'm like, no, Brian, what? And he goes, dude in the sweatpants. And I was like, yeah. He goes, look down. Go! He had the worst front wedgie ever. Brian just had the look of disgust on Brian's face was priceless, and he couldn't get over it. Now, you know what the lines are like in Six Flags, so we were there for a good hour and a half with Brian just angry face staring at the sky.
I wasn't trying to hide it at all. Like, I just staring at him. Like, it was so bad. Like, how do you go out of the house like that?
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
Not good.
I'm getting angry thinking about this man. And do you ever like play out a conversation in your head? Like an entire conversation of like both sides?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I do it constantly. And my theory is if you're just extremely paranoid, what you really is you're prepared. And when that happens, I'm gonna make someone look real stupid someday if that conversation ever happens. Or it's not even a conversation, it'll just be like something dumb like, some guy that I don't like just because his face sucks. Like I'm walking, he's like twirling an umbrella or something. I'm just like, I hope that umbrella hits me in the face like while I walk past this guy. I really hope it hits me in the face, and then I'm gonna do this, he's gonna do this, and then I make it look like an asshole. Because if you plan stuff out like that, and this also really just makes me think I'd be capable of murder, I guess, just because of all this meticulous planning, and whatnot. But like you want to be prepared. You want to be prepared for these people, because I think if you just let out your first reaction of like screaming or whatever, it's not that clever. You gotta be calm. Sometimes I find talking very calm to someone upset gets them way more upset, and it can be really fulfilling. I like keeping it calm. And another thing I try to do, which is really hard when you're like super pumped and angry, is I try to not curse at all, because like as soon as you curse, then it's like balls to the wall. Like, oh, now Brian at Toys R Us is yelling at me because I cursed at him, kind of thing. It's key. I think it's key not to curse, and it's key not to yell, and then people just like start going absurd. And like whenever like there's an argument between two strangers in public and like one dude's yelling and cursing, you just tend to side with the other person, even if he's like, you just murdered my child. It's like, ugh, why are you yelling about that?
So this is what happened to me, and I'll give you a little backstory, and then I'll go through like actual speed, my thought process. Then I'll tell you what actually happened after. I was on a plane. It was kind of like empty, and I was all in the back of the plane. I don't remember why I was back there, but anyway, so this girl that was next to me, It was one of the small ones, like the 1 seat and 2 seat. She was in the 1 seat, I was in the 2 seat, but there was no one next to me. She had like a tattoo sleeve, and in like the middle of the sleeve, it looked like the Ottawa Senators type thing, like that type of like mascot. And I was looking at it, and I looked at her, and she kind of looked like Carrie Underwood. And I was thinking, like, does Carrie Underwood have a sister? Because Carrie Underwood's married to Mike Fisher, who was an ex-Ottawa Senator. So this is how this conversation played on my head. I was just thinking, like, I'm gonna ask this girl, like she's like, oh well, my sister's husband used to be on this team, and I would be asking all these questions about her sister's husband, Mike Fisher, that she would then think I'm gay. Because
I hope the only words that came out of your mouth was, "Yes, I'll come over for Thanksgiving."
so like I'm playing out this whole thing, like now in my head she's Carrie Underwood's sister, and that's what this is from. And here I am, like a man in my late 20s who just found out this person is related to Carrie Underwood, and all I'm asking about is Carrie Underwood's husband. But this is what really happened, and I started this conversation with two things that when you start with it just doesn't sound good. So my first words were, "Hey, not trying to be creepy." Followed up with, "Not hitting on you either."
Yes. Yes.
So
Oh, no.
I'm like, "Hey, not trying to be creepy and not trying to hit on you either, but I just noticed your tattoo." I was like, "What is that in the center?" And here I am waiting for it to say, "Oh, the Ottawa Senators." She goes, "I don't know, some stupid Roman thing. It's my grandfather." I'm like, "Oh, all right." Whenever you have to start a sentence with, "Hey, not trying to be creepy," odds are you are creepy.
Yeah.
What you should have said was nothing.
But
Like just stare at her. What?
No, I mean, just it should have just stayed a thought in your head.
That's yeah. That's probably true.
I needed to know if she had ties to Mike Fisher.
That's about all we have for tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. You could hit us up on Twitter. I'm at AEJ Costanzo. Brian is at big_Bruins. Matt is at Matt_in_limbo. The Gmail is sspodcast1@gmail.com. Have a good week.